Hello everyone, Mog here. Long time no see. To kick things off, as I'm hopefully going to be making some more videos in the near future, I'm going to do a little bit of a different one. So, as you might have noticed, been on a bit of a hiatus from picking for the last few months, or at least picking hard locks, that's for sure. And one of the things that I started shortly before that hiatus was arranging to get a set of custom lockpicks made from Ratyoke, and they arrived earlier this week, and so it was time to end the hiatus because, well, more than anything, it was a good excuse to. So there's going to be two parts to this video. First, I'm just going to show you the picks and talk about them a little bit. And the second part will be kind of explaining why these are the profiles that I got. Because I think that's, something that there's a lot of talking about it, I guess, in terms of, on the wiki, let's say on the subreddit, what kind of set of picks you should get if you're a beginner. And I'd like to consider myself no longer a beginner, but I figure it could be useful to give, at least one more perspective on how I came to concluding these were the 7 profiles I wanted most. So, with that said, let's take a look at these picks. So, focus on the right half first, and these would be the kind of standard lock picks that you're probably familiar with. So, these are all similar in design, as you can see. So, the black belt style handle, absolutely beautiful, of course. And then I've got little inlay accent and colored accents at the butt of it. And yeah, that's what we've got for these guys. So no surprise, John did an absolutely fantastic job with these. They look beautiful. They work amazingly. I expected nothing less, but it is sure wonderful to have them in my hands after a long time of working with John over the specifics, especially for the flags, as we'll get to in a minute. And it was surely worth the wait. And here, getting to the flags. So this is inspired by the design of the black belt kind of hook handles, which is largely thanks to John for his idea of how these ought to look. And really, really nice touch is this texturing around here, which works super well. And again, absolutely beautiful. And similar to the hooks, nice accent on the tail of each of them. They will not again in this video be in a nice line like they were at the start, but that's okay. So you've seen the pics. They work wonderfully. They look beautiful. What more could one want? I'm going to take a moment to talk about why these are the ones that I decided to go with, though, or why these are the profiles that I asked John to make for me. And I'll start, to start, I guess, there's the point of mentioning, there's obviously hooks and flags, and for me that's because I tend to like picking quite a bit with both, and, I really do quite like picking dimple locks, and so for me it seemed like if I was, I'd originally thought this was going to be 4 picks, and I realized if John was open to the idea of doing some flags, I really ought to have some nice flags too, because I spend too much time picking dimple locks to not. At least that's how I feel. So for the flags, I've got basically this is an MP4 and a mirrored MP4 profile. it's the MP4 mirrored is basically the MP5, but you know, more or less the same thing in my experience. I've definitely picked a lot with the MP4, so I was not worried about the MP5 if it did have a different profile. I'm perfectly happy to have it mirrored. And so these two, because they're really just kind of the go-to flags. I mean, the right hand, I would say, definitely gets used a little more often in that for, I guess it's definitely easier for me as a right-handed person to be picking, you know, on this side of the pins to the right side. But sometimes you need to pick on the left, so depending, you know, mostly on the keyway. In my experience, I don't generally like to, or maybe it might be a matter of needing to tension a certain direction, and therefore you want to pick in a certain direction to get better feedback. Usually you want to tension opposite of your flagging direction. So if I'm picking with this right-handed flag, rotating my flag clockwise, I usually prefer tensioning counterclockwise. That way I can feel counter rotation from spools, for example. And then the other one is a MP10 profile, which is a right-handed one, because sometimes you need a little flag, whether it's for things like interactive elements or just to get in tight spaces, or maybe for sidebar pins on, you know, asset type blocks. It's just a really handy profile to use. When I was thinking about, you know, the couple, maybe 2 or 3 flags that I use most, it's most definitely these 3. These will cover 90% if not more of, you know, the dimple picking I tend to do personally, at least. We'll get to the hooks. I guess I'm going to mention I decided to get a half diamond because, kind of similar to MP10, it's just really versatile. You can use a half diamond for a lot of things, and this is like a pretty small half diamond. I think it's based off of the southward profiles. What I requested, the small diamond slimline, and you know that John definitely nailed the profiles bang on. And yeah, whether this is for setting, you know, things like interactive elements and dimple locks, for example, I've definitely used a half diamond for things of that nature quite a bit. Sometimes you can use it somewhat as a flag. I probably won't end up doing that with this particular pick very often, just because I don't want to, you know, break it or, you know, misuse it terribly. You know, I have flags for that, or other half diamonds that I don't mind perhaps risking damage to. But in any case, it's, you know, definitely a useful pick profile to have in my experience, and so felt like one that I wanted included. And then really just kind of a standard set of short, medium, and long hook. So the short hook is multi-pick short flat hook, PN 46 profile, I believe. And, you know, this would be my go-to for pretty much anything to start. You know, if I don't need something deeper, then I don't want a longer hook to get caught in warding or just, you know, get in the way, really. So, and then similarly, we've got medium hook. This is multi-picks hook 5 profile, PN 31. You know, in general, I'm a big fan of multi-pick and southwards profiles. They work really well, even in a lot of tight warding situations, and, you know, they're not overly thick. Of course, if I'm picking barrels, I will probably not be using something like this. Then I'm happy to have a Peterson's thick boy, but, you know, not going to be doing that all the time. And then for the last one, this is MP's tall round PN 49. And, you know, these are really, with these 3 profiles, you know, similar to the flags, this will cover at least 90, if not maybe 95% of the picking I do, really. You know, when I look at my set of picks and which ones I'm actually using most regularly, this is going to be the vast majority of it. You know, maybe I want a fatter hook that I'm not as worried about bending or breaking if I'm going to be picking barrels or somehow abusing my pick, but not going to be doing a ton of that with these in any case, and that's not a very versatile option. These, in my opinion, are much more versatile. I could pick barrels with these if I wanted, most likely. But, yeah, so that's kind of the reasoning with why these are the profiles I went for. And yeah, they're super great. I'm going to be uploading some videos showing them in action in the very near future. But I figured before I got doing that, I would spend a little time, show the pics themselves. You know, huge thanks to John for making these for me and doing such a fantastic job, because he, you know, no surprise, but he absolutely nailed it, and they're definitely the most beautiful pics I've ever held, and probably will ever hold. So yeah, there you have it. That's some Ratyoke custom pics for you, and how I decided which, how I justified why these were the profiles that I wanted if I were going to be getting what started as maybe 3, then became 4, and then became 7 beautiful custom made pics. Anyway, for anyone who took the time to watch, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.